My name is Will Hartley. I'm a program manager at Alcami Corporation. My team leads Alcami's business systems. So our CRM platform, our ERP systems, all the computer systems that we use to help facilitate our business operations. Alcami is a contract manufacturing and development pharmaceutical organization. So that means we partner with other small or mid-sized pharmaceutical companies and help them bring their product to market and manufacture their commercial supply. We're a small team. There's only two of us. We partner with finance, sales, and some business operations teams. Really, we were initially brought together to build a new Salesforce system, and we are currently utilizing various systems to build an overall IT transformation strategy. It's really not only harmonizing our systems to better communicate with one another, but we did need to face some upgrades. We had some pretty old platforms that we had been using for a while that needed an upgrade, as well as just overall business processes. So it was really a mix between how we're using the systems and what is the best practice in the industry now. One thing that we were looking at, and this was a pretty specific directive from our finance team, because we're a CDMO, we generate a lot of contracts for a lot of different service offerings, API, sterile, oral solid manufacturing to laboratory analytical testing. All different types of services, contracts of all size. We wanted to get a better understanding of our revenue recognition cycle for our sales awards to better craft our sales strategy as a commercial organization. Well, what we needed to do that is to see how quickly we were invoicing against contracts that we had awarded or won in our CRM system. So there were two separate platforms that we needed to bring together to measure that overall revenue recognition cycle. Microsoft Dynamics AX, which we used as our ERP, and then Salesforce.com CRM. Before, it was very manual to try to marry up the timing that was happening in our Salesforce of when the award was happening and what the initial award amount was with the invoice schedule that was created at the time of production or post-production. So because we were looking at two separate time points, it was a pretty tedious exercise that was really only accomplished by taking kind of sample sets of each service offering, manually looking at the time of award, and then manually reviewing the value of the invoices and how quickly they were invoiced for the related service. We have a lot of service offerings that we're able to provide. By being able to have a better understanding of how quickly we can execute work gives us a good indication of how we should plan our resources, how we should plan our sales strategy. So what was at stake if we didn't have that would really just be a lost sense of clarity to our overall revenue and business operations. The ability to see with your glasses on or not, to have clarity behind revenue cycles with your services gives you an understanding of where to put your focus and helps you communicate the state of the business in a much more secure way. For instance, a very high volume in contract awards for some advanced manufacturing may take a longer period of time to actually receive the revenue for. So to understand where we were as a business, to gauge business performance, is important that we were able to drive that clarity. We had our Salesforce CRM platform We have our Microsoft AX ERP system. What we needed to do is to take these two, communicate in a way where we're able to measure the initial award value versus the amount of in-process value, meaning scheduled work, and the amount of invoiced value, or work that we've completed and now we can recognize as revenue. So we came into it knowing that's what we needed, knowing these were the two systems that would need to communicate. Workato was able to provide us one recipe that could be used to update on a nightly basis. So at any given time, for any opportunity, we could see how much of that opportunity has been invoiced versus how much of that opportunity has been planned or scheduled in the ERP through various networks. That is what gives us the overall revenue recognition cycle that we're using to evaluate business performance. Without Workato providing this nightly integration that updates all of our opportunities with all of the invoices that are going out, we would have never had the clarity to look across our business and evaluate how our service offerings are performing. We would have always been limited to only looking at small samples of contracts, and it being a very manual exercise that we wouldn't have driven too much value from. So we're actually exploring how to use this same functionality for other applications, measuring revenue recognition against the opportunity as a part of a sales team strategy. It's really been helpful. We were evaluating integration providers. Workato was referred to us by a consultant that we were working with to help launch our new Salesforce CRM platform. It was pretty quick. Going through the demos, it became pretty apparent that Workato would be a strong solution for us. I was particularly impressed with how the recipes were marketed, because it felt like a nearly out-of-the-box solution. We saw a pre-built recipe to Salesforce. We knew what the recipe to AX was going to look like. What this has provided us is really an entirely new domain of insight into our proposal to revenue recognition process. It actually highlighted some problems that we didn't know that we had. It really helped drive some key insights to how we want to structure our market strategy and how we want to approach certain services of our business with consideration to the lagging revenue timelines that will be expected whenever we win a contract. We had great experiences working with Workato.